All right, guys, so I'm here about to make some ramen noodles for two main reasons. The first reason is I'm just trying to save some money. You know how it is. We're trying to get our finances right. Trying to eat ramen now so I can eat steak later. You feel me? And the second reason is I just like ramen noodles. Like, I don't see why it has to just be, has to just be the broke man's food. Because, well, it's delicious, right? So, so while that is boiling, I'm going to make my video for day 3. I just came back from training. It was great. Had a great time. It's going to be a very eventful weekend as I have a competition coming up this weekend, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But the main topic of today is going to be the title of the video, which is the approach and how to make friends. And I first want to go into why making friends is important. All right. So this is coming from someone who is naturally, I feel that there are parts of me that are both introverted and extroverted. I think especially when I was younger and in high school, I definitely had more of an introverted tendencies, especially when I was indulging in a lot of the porn and doing all that bad stuff and playing a lot of video games and doing all that. Not something that I normally do. I definitely had video game friends, and I definitely had, a small circle of friends. But I went through a very traumatic time, and I actually got into a huge argument and fight with a bunch of my friends. And I ended up, at one point, I was fully alone in high school. I was fully alone. I was 50 pounds overweight. And eventually, through self-improvement, I actually didn't do nofap yet, but I was working out. And I did get a job, and I did wind up losing a bunch of weight, and I lost 50 pounds. And I think I kind of went through an introverted phase where I wasn't really friends with anybody. It wasn't until later down the line when I became a personal trainer when I really started to kind of express myself more. And then I found nofap, and that kind of took off. And I started to find a lot of pleasure from building relationships with people. And I think this is a really important topic because I think a big part of why people get kind of indulged into, porn and masturbation, especially when they're trying not to do it, is that feeling of loneliness. And I think that feeling lonely and feeling like no one understands me, blah, 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 that whole little storyline that we can kind of get into telling ourselves, I think that can lead into relapse. I don't even want to say relapses, but more slip-ups. More of indulging in things that you don't really want to indulge in. You're trying to put that gratification off for now. You're trying to save that energy. You're trying to retain. And you don't want to keep having to blow your load and, failing to live up to what you ultimately want to do, right? And I think that by making friends, we can build honest connections with each other. And we can start to build our social circle. And I think that we're less likely to be lonely. And because that we have friends that, kind of fit our own social needs, because everybody, of course, is going to have different friends. We're all going to get along with people on a different level. I'm not making this video to say, you need to be the nicest person ever, or you need to be the type of person that is, nice to everybody and that tries to be friends with everybody. I'm definitely not saying that. What I'm kind of coming from the frame of you become friends with people that are a good fit for you, particularly. And I think that this is a good skill because it also opens up a lot more opportunity when it comes to business or your career, and when it also comes to dating as well. There was several times in my life, in fact, I even lost my virginity in this way, where I met somebody through a friend. And if it wasn't for that friend, I would have never met those girls. And I have to say, in my opinion, meeting a girl through friends is one of the most fun ways to meet girls, because you already kind of have this established rapport type deal, and it seems to be it's a lot more fun, right? It's more comfortable, at least for me. I like to kind of live my life, and if it comes into play, then amazing. I don't like to really do too much cold approach. I used to do cold approach a lot, and I found very, very little success with it. Now, you could argue that maybe I need to be better at cold approach, and that's fine. But I really wasn't into it. I just felt kind of slimy. Like I felt like I was kind of wasting my time. I like to live my life and do things like make money, go to the gym, get fit, work on my career. When I do those things, I tend to feel better about myself, and I tend to meet people in line with my values just naturally as time goes on. So how is it that you actually make friends? Well, making friends can really come from anywhere, but it's most likely going to come in situations where you are constantly around the same people. So this could be at school, it could be at work, it could be at a hobby, it could just be around at different things. Now, what I will say is, do not do this. Do not be the person that just like fucking talks to everybody about anything and just like talks your ass off and talks your head off, because nobody likes that. It is so annoying. Shut the fuck up. Like sometimes there's people at the gym that like one guy will just talk everybody's ear up. Shut the fuck up. It's so annoying. It was literally happening to me the other day. This old guy was just fucking talking to everybody. Like, shut the fuck up. There's people here just trying to work out. They're just trying to work out. Okay? Shut up. Don't be like that. That's not what I mean. I'm coming from the perspective of we naturally are going to make those friends, okay? And there's different ways of doing it. Hang on, let me check on my water. Make sure it's boiling or not boiling, okay? And so the way to do it is this. This is how I've come to find. And this is through like a really good book, by the way, is another Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a great book. I highly recommend reading it. But the idea here is to become curious. That's going to be the main foundation and framework of it, is to genuinely have curiosity in other people, whether it be what they know or whether it be what kind of situations arise. Like, I'm just trying to be specific without being too specific. But, it's about be curious in people and don't be the type of person that talks to people here. Let me give you some examples of what not to do, okay? Let's say someone tells you something that was really good, okay? Don't say, and I've done this before, and there are definitely situations where you can do it, but if you're going to do it, you always want to kind of dive deeper into people's situations, right? So someone says, oh, I just got this like new job. It's usually best to not be like, oh, I just started working at this place too. And then you just start talking about what job that you got. No one likes that. What I'm trying to get in, maybe you could say, oh, well, I started this. If you are going to say, oh, I started this job, what is it that you started doing? And become curious in people and ask questions and let people talk and start to have the ability to genuinely just be present and listen to people. If you follow just that will take you so far. If you can learn to just be present with people, to make firm eye contact, not too much, not like this. Hey, what's up? Do you have any games on your phone? Not like that. We don't want to do it. No, don't like this. You don't want to do that either, okay? It's not good. If you can learn to just be present with people and listen to people, genuinely speaking, and become curious, that will take you so far. Like, I don't know. I feel like I need to kind of plan this out a little bit more, where I need to go like more in detail as far as like actual specifics. Like if anybody wants me to go over anything like that, then I will be more specific with it. I'm kind of just talking more about like general concepts and like kind of laying the groundwork of like learning to be present with people, giving firm eye contact, and not being fucking annoying. Don't just sit there and talk about yourself all the damn time. Ask what people are doing. Ask about themselves. Take a fucking hint. Have common sense. If you're trying to talk to somebody and they seem kind of like disengaged or they seem kind of uncomfortable, tell them to have a good day and move on with your life. But if someone starts to seriously engage with you and you find that they're not annoying as well, like I'm not saying like if someone starts to be annoying to you, don't sit there and be the person that's like, oh, I'm going to be nice to this person that's really annoying. You don't have to do that. What I'm talking about being friends and like being curious in people is like, you're going to genuinely just find the connections for you. And it's going to take some time. Like you might go through some people where they don't want to talk to you, and that's fine, because there's going to be people that you don't want to talk to, and that is fine. It's totally cool. You got to be totally cool with not being friends with everybody. Be present with people and listen to people. Guys, I'm going to enjoy my ramen. This is kind of just some general concepts to go over, like kind of how to make friends. Put yourself out there. And what I mean by put yourself out there is I don't necessarily mean that you need to go like walk in the mall and go talk to everybody. What I mean by put yourself out there is go and get that job or work on that business that you've always wanted to work on. Go out, get out of the house and go do things. Go get a hobby. Go and do stuff, okay? This is especially important for nofap because the more that you just like sit around all day, the worse off that you're going to be. You don't want to just sit around and do nothing. Put yourself out there into the world in ways that actually interest you, whether it's like joining a book club or a writing club or a tennis club or do jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is fucking awesome. If you want to make friends, go join jiu-jitsu. That's going to be one of the best things that you can do. That's one of the best things you can do to make friends is join jiu-jitsu, in my opinion. But yeah, those are just some general concepts. Those are things that help me. I hope that's helped you. I'm going to enjoy my food, and I'll talk to you guys soon.